The first time I truly realized the depth of my feelings, it hit me like a thunderclap on a quiet Tuesday afternoon in Charleston. I was walking through the park, the late afternoon sun slicing through the bare branches, and there she was, laughing at something utterly ordinary, completely unaware of the storm brewing in my heart. I had known her for years, Hannah, but the thought of telling her how I felt had always been a mix of exhilaration and terror. Every shared laugh, every casual brush of her hand against mine, had become a thread tying my heart to hers. That day, as she waved goodbye to her friends and started down the path toward her car, I felt a surge of courage I hadn't known I possessed. I told myself this was it. No more waiting, no more excuses. Today, I would finally speak my truth. Before I continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the magic of love, take a moment to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and don't forget to subscribe. The parking lot was quiet, nearly empty, the sunlight reflecting off the asphalt and the metallic sheen of cars. I saw her unlock her car and hesitated. My palms were sweating, my throat tight. How could I condense years of longing into a few sentences without sounding ridiculous or desperate? I ran through my words over and over in my head, a frantic loop of rehearsals and imagined scenarios. Finally, I took a deep breath, and my legs carried me toward her like they had a mind of their own. "Hannah," I began, my voice shaking, "I need to tell you something." Her smile softened at my tone, curious, and she turned fully toward me. For a fleeting moment, my fears dissolved in the warmth of her gaze, and I plunged forward, unfiltered, unguarded. I told her everything, the moments I'd cherished, the days I'd spent silently hoping she might feel the same, the nights I had replayed our conversations in my mind, wishing I had said it sooner. I confessed the way my heart seemed to recognize hers even before I did, and how I had loved her quietly, from the shadows of friendship, for far too long. The world seemed to pause. Cars hummed distantly in the background, leaves rustled in the chilly wind, and yet, for that moment, it was just her and me, suspended in a fragile bubble of vulnerability. Then, unexpectedly, she laughed, not the light, teasing laugh I had often heard, but a soft, almost overwhelmed chuckle, the kind that makes your chest ache in the best way. "Why didn't you say so sooner?" she whispered, the question hanging in the air with a mixture of amusement and relief. My heart skipped. Relief? That I had finally confessed. That she had been feeling the same. The flood of emotions was nearly too much to contain. I remember sitting on the curb nearby afterward, both of us sitting in the golden haze of the setting sun, talking for hours. She told me about the quiet hope she had carried, how she had always sensed my feelings, how she had been waiting for me to see what had been in front of me all along. The irony of our mutual hesitation wasn't lost on either of us, but in that moment, it didn't matter. What mattered was the present, the honesty, and the fragile, budding connection we now shared. In the following days, our lives began to intertwine differently. Walks through familiar streets felt electric. Every conversation was layered with unspoken understanding. Every shared meal a testament to patience and hope. We explored parts of Charleston we had never visited together, from quiet riverside benches to small cafes tucked in alleys, laughing over memories and creating new ones. I realized that the hardest part had been not the confession itself, but the years of imagining what could have been. And yet, even with that lost time, every step forward felt like reclaiming what we were always meant to share. One rainy evening, as we huddled under a small awning, waiting for a taxi to take us back to her apartment, I noticed her shivering slightly despite the umbrella. Without thinking, I took off my coat and draped it around her shoulders. She looked at me, eyes wide, a gentle smile playing on her lips. "You always do the little things," she said softly. And in that moment I understood, love wasn't just the big confessions, the dramatic gestures. It was in the quiet moments, the unnoticed acts, the consistent presence that said, without words, "I am here for you." Life, of course, didn't immediately become perfect. We had arguments, moments of doubt, and days when the past lingered in our thoughts, reminding us of what we had nearly missed. But each challenge became an opportunity to grow, to understand, and to value each other more deeply. We learned the delicate dance of giving space while remaining close, of listening without judgment, and of celebrating even the smallest victories together. And through it all, that first confession, the one that had terrified me to my core, remained a turning point, a moment when courage transformed uncertainty into possibility. Months passed, and our friendship-turned love matured into something resilient yet tender. I often thought back to that day in the park, the fear that had gripped me, and the overwhelming relief and joy that followed. It struck me how much power there is in honesty, in finally stepping out from the shadows of hesitation. Hannah's words, "Why didn't you say sooner?" became less of a critique and more of a gentle reminder of how love, when nurtured with patience and courage, can find its way no matter how delayed. I want everyone watching this to remember, if there's someone in your life who holds your heart, do not wait endlessly for the perfect moment. Moments are fleeting, and sometimes the act of expressing your truth can change everything in ways you never imagined. Life is unpredictable, but courage, the courage to be honest, to be vulnerable, is always within reach. And in the end, that courage may just lead you to a love that was waiting all along, patiently, quietly, but unwaveringly. Before we close, I want to make a special request. If this story moved you even a little, comment below about someone you've been meaning to open your heart to, or a time when courage changed your life. Sharing your story could inspire someone else to take their first step toward love. That day, sitting across from Hannah in the soft glow of a Charleston evening, I realized that fear had almost cost me the best part of my life. But I also realized that love is patient, persistent, and remarkably forgiving. Our journey wasn't perfect, but it was ours, built on honesty, courage, and the quiet hope that what is meant to be will always find its way. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and comment. It's more than just a story. It's a reminder that sometimes all it takes is the courage to speak, and everything you've waited for may finally be within reach. And as I hold her hand now, years later, I think back to that simple question, the one that marked the turning point. Why didn't you say sooner? And I smile, knowing that sometimes love is worth the wait, worth the fear, and worth every heartbeat leading to that moment of truth.